What do you think of when I say fight right? Let's start with the opposite. What does it mean to fight wrong? Here's what that might look like. Cue the loud voices, fist pounding, and interrupting. What the hell? What do you mean you didn't XYZ? Hey, why aren't you 1, 2, 3? We need to ABC. How could you ever do that? We tried that. We could never do that. We did that 2 years ago and it was an epic failure. Now, wait a minute. Why would you say that? Those are some things you might hear. Now, fight right. I want to talk about a few things first. Camp 1 in most organizations is no fighting. I think most people believe that there is no place for fighting in the workplace. And I've talked about this in other videos about people who avoid conflict like the plague, and that, shouldn't we go along to get along? And actually, that advice of, if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all, from Bambi. However, it has been painfully distorted into an unhealthy extreme where if you disagree, don't say anything at all, which isn't healthy. It does not get the best ideas of your team on the table. Now, the second camp is the dysfunctional fighting, which I kind of outlined, demonstrated a little bit earlier with the, fist pounding on the table, people yelling at each other, people criticizing each other, people shaming each other, people constantly, providing destructive criticism or snide remarks or talking under their breath or rolling their eyes. That's destructive. And both camps are damaging to your organization. They are squashing the spirit. They are squashing the enthusiasm. They are squashing the ideas. They're squashing the creativity. They are squashing the productivity of your organization. You will never get the best of your people with either of those two camps. Now, I've kind of been sharing this, is that you need to help your organization learn how to fight right. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, before you can fight right, there absolutely has to be a baseline of trust, a strong foundation of trust in your organization. People need to trust that others are going to listen to understand and not fake listen just so that they can, wait till you're done and get their point made. They need to be able to know that if they speak up, their ideas are going to be considered and not dismissed. And this will ensure that team members feel like their ideas are valued, even if they're not the greatest idea, even if, what they're bringing up did fail a few years ago. Maybe it was because there was a particular element that wasn't considered. Now, I've got several key components to fighting right. So this video is going to go a little longer than my normal videos. But the first one is to make sure that you're focusing on the topic, the conversation, what the content is and not who's speaking. This is really critical. So we want to make sure that we're really, when we're making comments or we're dismissing things, or first of all, if we decide we need to dismiss an idea, we're dismissing the idea, not the person, and we're giving reasons. Understand, and this is one that's interesting, and you may see it a little bit here, is that people's voices getting louder does not mean they're yelling at you or yelling at anyone. Oftentimes, when people are passionate or they get energized about an idea, their voice gets louder. My husband says I come from the loud family, so I know that happens to me. It's just something I'm used to. So appreciate that, and if that needs to change, work with that person. And that's a topic for a whole nother video. Time limits. Sometimes it's necessary if you're trying to get through a particular discussion that each person is given an equal amount of time if they choose to use it, but that each person has some time to speak, and that sometimes providing those time limits can provide some good structure to the conversation. And oftentimes it may take may take more than one session in order to really flesh out a new product idea or a solution to a challenge you're having. So you might want to make sure that you're looking and keeping a track of the time, and that you're giving everyone an opportunity to provide input. And that takes some good facilitation skills, knowing, where people might be holding back. Someone needs to be taking notes. So this is number 4. Someone needs to be taking notes, because to fight right, the conversation can get spirited and it can go fast. And lots of things are going to be discussed and brought up. And so it's so helpful to have someone jotting down what those great ideas are that are coming in. And they're not all going to be great ideas, but oftentimes you need to get through, and this is probably a 7th point to my list of 6 here, is that you need to get through some of the blah, whatever ideas in order to really allow that creativity for people to build on each other's ideas and get to the really good idea. Also, a couple things is know when to bring the conversation and how to bring the conversation to a close. I think that might be a topic for another video, but wrap up by thanking everyone for their contribution, for being candid and honest, and for the creative input that you're getting. And then make sure you summarize what the key decisions, any outstanding to-dos, any outstanding, if there's another meeting that's going to be needed. And then know if you're in the midst of the conversation, this could have come before the last one, but know when to let it go. If you're in the middle of the conversation and you come to, the group is coming to an agreement, and the majority of the group agrees on a particular path or a particular approach, a particular product idea, and you're still in disagreement, share your disagreement and then agree to disagree, and let the group know you will support the idea and mean it. Because sometimes, while you may really believe that this is not, they're not going down the right path, sometimes it is the right path and you're just not seeing how it can be the right path, or sometimes the group needs to get there on their own. And that's, again, a topic for a whole another video. So fighting right is a couple things. One, baseline of trust. Focus needs to be on the conversation. Understand that people get passionate and may get loud, and you need to figure out how your group is going to handle that. Either be okay with it or know how to bring the excitement down, but know that it's usually not yelling. Time limits. Someone taking notes. Know how to know when to let things go, and know how to bring the conversation to a close. So if you have any thoughts about what fighting right looks like in your organization, or how you've seen fighting wrong happen in your organization, share it in the comments below.